What's up, YouTube? I just got tagged by Tim Moran to do this get to know a comic nerd tag thing. And okay, I figured I'd do it. I had to go back and look at the original ones because I couldn't, because I know there's a number of questions they want you to answer. That's why I'm looking over here to my right here. I'm looking at the screen. I guess it started with 1904 Comics, who I just looked up and subscribed to him too. So he has a list of the questions. So thanks, Tim, for tagging me, I guess, and I'll try to answer the questions as best I can, I guess. First one is my name. I think it's pretty obvious. It's Francis McMenamin. And the second one is how did you start collecting comics? Now, I actually just started collecting comics almost 2 years ago. I originally started back when I was a teenager. When I was younger, I actually was more of a baseball card collector. I collected baseball cards from the time I was like, I think 8 years old or so, up until my later teens. I used to have a paper route, and I used all that money I made from my paper route, and I bought baseball cards. There used to be a corner store in my neighborhood called B&B Cards. It was an older guy, he just sold baseball cards out of there, and I used to go there every week with my money, collection money, whether it was mine or for the newspaper that I was collecting money for the things. But I used to go there and buy baseball cards every week, and I had a pretty huge collection. Number of times my parents had to pay my paper route money bill, but yeah. So I used to originally collect baseball cards, and I didn't get into comics until later on in my teens. I think it was probably when I was around 16 years old, around there is when I started reading comics. It's because I had a friend in high school who actually worked at a comic book store, and later on he actually moved in with, after we were 18 and out of high school, he moved in with the owner of the comic book store, and I became friends with him also. He later on sold the comic book store and started working for Wizards of the Coast, and so I'm not really sure what happened to him, but I know he went on to bigger and better things. But yeah, so I started reading comic books then because of I had the friend that was into comic books, and I grew up in Norristown, Pennsylvania, which is where they had Kimiko Comics, and so I started off reading Kimiko Comics really. A lot of the I think the next one is what were the first comics you started collecting also, so I'll just answer that question too. First comics I started collecting back then were Kimiko Comics, and it was mainly Grendel, which I've shown a number of times. I'm not going to show any books right now, I'm just going to talk about it, but started reading the Grendel comics with the primer number 2. I don't think that was the first book I actually got. I think I read the Grendel 1, 2, and 3 first, and then the later issues with Christine Spar, and I got really into them. And later on I did go back and get primer number 2 when I was able to find it, back when it was pretty cheap to find. But beside that, I also collected a lot of other Kimiko comics, like Justice Machine. There was another one that had a limited number of books. I think there was like 5 or 6 of them. Next Man, the Next Man, whatever, which I liked. And then of course, there was the Marvel stuff with X-Men and the Rob Liefeld stuff. And I was really into Wolverine too. And I kind of got out of it. Let's just say all my comic books went the way of a misspent youth, so they all kind of disappeared on me. Not really disappeared, I know what happened to them, but so About 2 years ago, how I got back into comic collecting was I had bought a house. I live right now. I live up in Massachusetts, in the South Shore area of Boston, a place called Brockton, Massachusetts, and I moved up here 6 years ago or so, and about 2 years ago I bought a house, and I went down to the local Home Depot down the street from me, and I noticed there was a comic book store there, and I just decided to stop in and go check it out for some reason, and that was it. I was hooked. And I've been collecting pretty hardcore since then. So, and I got right back into collecting. And you've seen all my videos of books I had, so you know what I'm collecting now. So, got into the Avengers and whatnot. But, okay, favorite TV show or cartoon. Now, I was looking at this two different ways, currently and in the past. So, my favorite TV show right now, well, obviously, I mean, The Walking Dead. I love The Walking Dead. But there's also a couple other ones that I do watch. I don't watch a whole lot of TV, but that's a lie. I do watch a lot of TV, but I just watch specific shows. Walking Dead, also Sleepy Hollow. I'm into that show. It's coming back up next month. It's starting back up. And what else do I watch? Sleepy Hollow. There's a couple ones I watch. I have, I DVR and I watch all the time. American Horror Story is another one. I've watched every season of that so far. But yeah, so that's kind of stuff. I don't really watch a lot of cartoons, so that was another thing. Cartoons. I don't really watch a lot of cartoons right now. But I used to when I was younger. My favorite cartoon was, when I was young, probably Scooby-Doo. I really loved Scooby-Doo when I was a kid. And also He-Man. He-Man was one of my favorites, and also, oh my gosh, what's it called? Thundercats. Thundercats. Oh my god, I love the Thundercats. And I actually got a bunch of the books. I think about showing some of my Thundercat collection later. And TV shows back then, I don't really know. There's a lot of them, a lot of the old TV shows. I used to love the old Spider-Man one, and was it from the 70s, and the old Batman, the Adam West stuff, and even, it's kind of funny, Fantasy Island and stuff. I saw they have it on TV, one of those TV channels, Fantasy Island. I remember watching it with my grandparents when I was a kid. Oh, I didn't even think cartoon when I was a kid. Smurfs. I love the Smurfs. And if you look up, let me see, I got a bunch of Smurfs up there still. So, but yeah. And some of the cartoons also, it's more animation. My favorite one, there's two different ones I loved. Fist of the North Star, and my favorite though was Vampire Hunter D. I think there's only two of them that they did. I really, really wish they would have do more. But it was a long time ago. So if you haven't watched those, find them and check them out. I love those. I already said where I live. I live in Brockton, Massachusetts. Oh, do I have a pet? Yes, I do. It's Seamus. Seamus, come here. Come here, Seamus. Come here. Come here. I think you've met Seamus before. Come here, Seamus. Here you go. That's Seamus. He's a Boston Terrier, Let me see. Look at him look at himself. Oh, yes, he loves me very much, too. So, yeah. He licks way too much. Okay. Go back to your bed. What cereal do I like? I actually like oatmeal. But regular cereal, cold cereal, I'm a granola guy. My grandfather used to, that was his favorite cereal, that, and he used to mix it with grape nuts. I'm not into grape nut stuff, but with granola. And I've always liked granola, so that's my favorite cereal. And my birthday month's October. I was born October 28th, 1972. I know I don't look that old, but I'm pretty good looking for my age. So, yeah, I'm 41 years old. I'll be 42 in a few months. Let me see. Do you have any phobias? I don't know if you can consider them phobias. I have some fears, a fear that I know of. I'm definitely afraid of heights. But I've actually, I don't know if you consider it a phobia because, I've jumped out of airplanes. I was in the military. I'm retired military right now. And I was airborne in there, so I've jumped out of airplanes, a number of times. Even though I had the fear of heights, so I don't think if I had the actual phobia that I could actually have done that. But I tell you what, I get up near an edge of a building or something, and I get a little shaky. So it's definitely a fear. Other than that, I don't really have any phobias that I know of. Insects creep me out a little bit, but I'm not afraid of them though. So they just creep me out a bit. Says beady little eyes, just creepy. And how did you come up with your new YouTube name? I was watching Tim Morantz, and it's kind of the same exact way how I got my YouTube name. I would have loved to have made some cool moniker and, name and I don't know, like some of these names I see, but I kind of just logged on to YouTube, made a YouTube account, and it just put my name up there as my name, my real name, Francis McMenamin, and you can't change it either. I tried, believe me, I tried, because at first I was like, I don't really want my name out there, and then I tried unlinking my Gmail, or my G Plus account, whatever you call it, what do you call that? Oh, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, this doesn't work. So there's no changing your name. Once you got your name, Google makes you keep it, so I guess I just won't have a cool name, but yeah, that's my name, and that's about it. I don't know, I just want to add a couple more things. It says get to know a comic nerd, so I don't know, there's a couple other things. I guess I just want to get to know me a little bit better. I'm in graduate school, studying to be a clinical psychologist. Like I said, I'm retired military, so I'm planning to I wanted to work with veterans, and that's basically what I do. I just recently got engaged, and she hates. Oh, she doesn't. She doesn't hate me collecting comic books. She just hates sometimes how much money I spend on them. She would wish that I spent it on a little bit some other stuff, maybe vacations and stuff. But yeah. So and I want to tag a couple people. Let me see. Let me see, who should I tag? You know what, I'll put that in the description. So if you want to see who I tagged, once I think about it, you look at the description, and you guys make your own videos. But okay, well, thanks for getting to know me, and this is and Seamus wants to thank you too. So say goodbye, Seamus. Yeah, say goodbye, Seamus. You don't know what to do. Okay, goodbye.